Minecraft 1.20 was just announced at Minecraft Live, but there's a catch. The update doesn't have a name yet, only a general theme based on making Minecraft more Minecrafty and allowing players to be more creative. So here are 20 new feature ideas that could be added in Minecraft 1.20. Let me know which one of these are your favorite, and if you have any other ideas, down in the comments. The first thing that should be added in Minecraft 1.20 is new villages for the mangrove swamp made out of the mangrove woods. We already have the swamp villagers in the game. These guys have existed since the Village and Pillage update, and in 1.20 we're going to be getting brand new bamboo woods, so why not build ourselves a jungle village as well? We already got jungle villagers too. All the pieces of the puzzle are here, just put it together and we got 2 new villages with 2 new unique build styles. Here's a simple but fun idea. Why not make slime bouncier? We have the ability to fall like 400 blocks in this game now, and slime only bounces you like 40 blocks, and that just doesn't make any sense at all. So why not make slime a lot more bouncy? Imagine if you could bounce like 100 blocks high off of this stuff. That would be incredibly fun. We have an increased build height with 1.18 and an increased build depth, so it makes sense that we would also get bouncier slime to make up for it. I just want to bounce really high. Okay, it's just fun. I'm sure you're all familiar with the common mob spawner, and these things have had basically the same structure forever. Just a tiny little box around them made out of cobblestone and a couple of chests. They are pretty boring. We could definitely use with a little bit of an update to the spawning structure to make it more interesting and maybe a little bit more of a fight. At the very least, the spawning structure should be updated so that if it's below Y0, it's not generating out of cobblestone, because this cobblestone stands out like an eyesore against the deep slate. Even just replacing all the cobblestone with tough blocks already makes it look a lot better with the deep slate. In a perfect world, I'd also say they should make mob spawners a lot more common. That way you can actually build more advanced farms out of them and get some use out of them. Because unless you are very early game or brand new to Minecraft, you're probably not building a spawner farm. With 1.20 rolling around, I think we can all agree it's about time that we finally get the crouching and crawling mechanics on Bedrock Edition. I want to be able to throw myself away in a trash can. I mean, look at this. This is where I belong, and this is where all of my content belongs as well. And I want to be able to crouch underneath some half slabs. This is great. I need to be able to get into a 1 block tall tunnel for mining. This is great too. Come on. We need some good features. We've been waiting on these to reach Bedrock Edition for years. Can I please put myself into a trash can? It's all I want to do. I just want to do this on Bedrock Edition. If you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing for more Composter content. Thank you so much, and back to the feature ideas. Next is something I think we can all agree on, and that is reinforced leads, or just upgrading leads in general. These things break way too often, and mobs just completely wander off without them, and they just do not work with the elytra hardly at all either. So if you have a valuable mob that you want to get back to your base, and you take it on an elytra flight, it'll kind of follow you a little bit, but as soon as you pop a rocket, that lead's gonna break, and then there goes your wonderful pink sheep of dreams. Is this really what you want? No, we need reinforced leads so that we can actually fly with mobs. You can make it a more expensive recipe as well, and instead of maybe having it be strings and slime to create some leads, why not have it be some chains and slime to create a chain that you can actually put on animals, and that way it's super reinforced and it hardly ever breaks when you're moving animals around the world. This would make moving mobs just so much easier. Hear me out for this next one, but what if the Wandering Trader actually gave you some useful items? Because right now all the Wandering Trader gives you is 2 leads, and that's just kind of a bad game design. So what if it actually gave you rare items in small quantities, and it gave you random rare items every time it showed up? This would actually make the Wandering Trader sought after and make it useful to trade with for early game or late game players. So a couple of ideas for the trades involve like buckets of tadpole or oxalotls. Those are just kind of cute things that would already go with its existing trade tables. But what if it also sometimes sold bottles of enchanting, or a trident, or a highly enchanted weapon, maybe a random enchanted book every now and again, or golden apples or enchanted apples, maybe even some wither roses, some dragon's breath, wither skeleton skulls. Any and all of these things could be sold in very small quantities for very high prices to make the rare items actually worth it, and this would make the Wandering Trader actually sought after by players. That way you don't just immediately kill it every time you see it to get 2 measly little leads. You could also make the Wandering Trader legitimately useful as well for those who play in peaceful mode if you gave it one of two trades, either a Blaze Powder or Blaze Rod trade, or an Eye of Ender trade. If you make it a rare or expensive trade, this would prevent speedrunners from abusing it, but this would allow peaceful mode players to actually get to the end dimension without, you know, having to leave peaceful mode. Of course, it doesn't need to have all of these items, and it could have maybe one or two of these different rare items every time it shows up. That way you can't farm these things too easily, and of course you can adjust the prices to make it actually worthwhile to get. That way you have to go out and collect emeralds or diamonds to actually afford these things. But I think this would actually make sense for the Wandering Trader, as it's wandered around the world and it's picked up some valuable things on its way that you, the player, might be able to put to use. There's a lot of opportunity with this one, so let me know what you think about it in the comments. This next feature would legitimately be so useful in vanilla Minecraft, and that is universal dyeing. Being able to take any color of glass, for example, and re-dye that to any other color is so incredibly useful. It saves you a ton of materials and time, and of course applying this to concrete and concrete powder or the terracottas would save you so much time and resources as well. Of course, the terracottas come in a variety of different colors when you're harvesting them, and sheep also come in a ton of different colors as well, so this feature just makes sense, and I think it's long overdue. If you've ever tried to move a frog across the continent, then you'll probably agree with this next one. We need a bucket of frog. Sure, these guys kind of follow you if you're holding slime, and you can maybe put a lead on them, but they also jump like 9,000 miles. We have bucket of tadpole. We need bucket of frog. Why can't I put you into a bucket? Hear me out. The axolotl is significantly bigger than the frog, and we have bucket of axolotl, and the frog is already somewhat, you know, watery, so just put it in a bucket. It would be great. If you've ever tried to build a frog light farm in the nether using all 3 different types of frogs, you know how much of a pain it is to move these guys hundreds or thousands of blocks from all of their different types of biomes. We really need bucket of frog. It would just make life so much easier. And why stop there? Give us a lay in a bucket. And why not horse in a bucket? Dragon in a bucket? Why not put a bucket in a bucket? Minecraft 1.20. The bucket update. This next one's a little less far-fetched, but how about green bamboo wood? We already have the yellow version, but since bamboo is green, why not have a green variety as well? This would give us a lot more building opportunities with the different foliage and plants. This next one's never gonna happen, but why not add the Bedrock Wither to Java Edition with the bug where it bypasses the armor and deals incredible amounts of damage? I think it'd be really fun, and Java players would really enjoy the challenge and the unique possibility of... It's genuinely a better boss fight on Bedrock Edition, and there's no reason that Java should have the old, wimpy, weak Wither. If a mobile player can fight the Wither, a Java player definitely can. Speaking of the Wither byproduct, why not upgrade the beacon? It's been the same for quite a few years now. We're all familiar with the 5 effects that it can give you: speed, haste, resistance, jump boost, strength, and even regeneration if you upgrade it to a 4-tier beacon. But I feel like there's a lot more that you could do with the beacon. There's 3 other effects that would be good for the beacon: night vision, so that you can see in caves and when you're doing a lot of beacon mining; fire resistance when you are working around lava or in the nether; and maybe even slow falling for when you're working in the end. But why stop there? You could add an additional 5th layer to the beacon to make a super chunky beacon, making it way more expensive, but making those extra effects more valuable. And there's also the mechanic where you can already use iron blocks, emerald blocks, gold, diamond, or netherite for a beacon base. So why not make each one of these different blocks give you different attributes or different strength levels of those effects? So iron would be basic, and then maybe you get level 2 or level 3 haste with like gold blocks. Now, I am hesitant to encourage diamond and netherite beacons because these are just an insane amount of effort. But if you got like haste 5 with a netherite beacon, that would be maybe kind of worth it. Back to something a little more vanilla. As you know, we have chiseled varieties of a bunch of the different stone related blocks, and each one of these has a little bit of a face on it, which is kind of cool. But why not add a similar block for the wood varieties? The crafting recipe isn't even taken. To make a chiseled stone, you just stack up 2 stone slabs and then you get a chiseled brick, or you can combine 2 birch or other wood slabs to get yourself a carved piece of wood. Just like the chiseled stone open up a ton of different possibilities for various builds and details. Carved wood would also open up a ton of opportunities for very cheap and readily accessible details. We're all familiar with how painful concrete conversion is, especially on Bedrock Edition where there is no offhand. You gotta place it down in some water and then manually mine it. It's just kind of a whole mess, and it really slows down the process of building with concrete. But what if we could convert concrete a lot quicker, such as if we had a cauldron and then we clicked on that cauldron with a full stack of concrete powder. And voila, instead of having concrete powder, you now have regular concrete that you can build with, and of course that empties out the entire cauldron. This isn't like too different from how regular concrete's made, and it's not too different from how Minecraft concrete is made. So like, can we please speed up the process at which we get concrete? It's such a nice block. I would really like to be able to build with this in all of my worlds, but it's just such a pain. The whole point of shulker boxes is to be able to put a bunch of items in here and then break it and move it around. However, getting all those items back out is either really slow, where you gotta manually take out every single stack, which is especially painful on consoles and mobile, or you need to slowly drain it out with a hopper. But what if we could break the shulker by hand or something, and then get the shulker box back and all the items spilled out? This would make emptying your shulkers a lot quicker and would solve a couple of the slowness issues when it comes to storage. As you can see right now, it takes forever to break it by hand, and you just get the shulker back. But if you sped up the breaking process to be like 1 or 2 seconds, and then you got the shulker and all the items on the ground, this would actually help out a little bit for emptying these guys. There is always the option of throwing it through a lava blade or something, but that actually destroys the shulker box and you do get all the items on the ground. A pretty simple idea is just adding a block that spiders can't climb back up. Spiders are kind of the bane of everyone's existence when it comes to mob farms, because they fight water streams, they climb walls, they get out of kill chambers, and they go back to spawning platforms which they shouldn't exist on. This one simple fix would really help increase the efficiency of pretty much all Bedrock Edition mob farms. Now, a couple ideas for this would be making spiders unable to climb ice or packed ice or blue ice. I think these are 3 pretty good contenders. Or even just straight up glazed terracotta. If the stickiest thing in Minecraft, literal slime, can't stick to glazed terracotta, then maybe neither should spiders. So I don't know, it's just an idea. It would really help out mob farms though. Another simple feature that would have big impacts is the ability to put ice, packed ice, or blue ice underneath a water stream and have that move mobs faster than normal. As you can see, mobs all travel at the exact same speed in these water streams unless they are pathfinding, so having the ability to put some ice underneath your streams and move mobs faster would be pretty great. Ice already affects the speed at which items travel, so why not make it affect mobs too? We've all heard of the ability to put banners on shields, which we still do not have on Bedrock Edition, but that's not what this is about. What if we had the ability to put banners on beds and give ourselves a custom bed pattern? This would actually be a really cool detail, and it would allow for a ton more decoration options. To be honest, you probably don't need much convincing on this one, but what if we had a sponge that was used for lava, aka a lava sponge? You place it down and bam, it takes out a whole chunk of lava. This would be incredibly useful for, like, literally everything ever. And then maybe you can also put this wet lava sponge into a furnace and smelt like a couple hundred items or something. I don't know, could be pretty fun, and we could definitely use this. I also have an idea for how to improve villagers a little bit, and that is just by being able to tell them what to link to. So this guy just linked to a workstation. There's like 1,000 workstations around here. I got no idea which one it is, but if maybe we could click on this guy with some sort of item and then click on a specific workstation with that item, telling that villager which workstation to link to, this would be incredibly useful just for getting the villager professions that you need. Or maybe if we just had a manual way to unlink them from a workstation, or if we had a way to turn off a workstation from being linked to, because all of these different workstations get used for decoration so often, and you don't want your villagers linking to them. So if we could like click on this with an emerald or something and turn it off so that it doesn't get linked to, then we would be able to use all this stuff for decoration without our villagers being a giant pain. Hopefully that makes sense. It's basically just an idea for helping us refine what villagers link to and when. Something with near universal universal consensus is that we need more slabs and stairs and walls in the game, and there's a few prime examples of this. First of all, we have prismarine walls, but no prismarine brick walls or dark prismarine walls, which doesn't make any sense, so we're just missing out on 2 of those. And then calcite and tuff are super neglected. All we have is calcite and tuff. We don't have stairs, slabs, or walls for either of these 2. And then, you know, if we're really getting crazy, maybe some concrete slabs, concrete stairs. I mean, if you look at stone bricks, you got the regular brick, the stair, the slab, the wall, the mossy, the cracked, and the chiseled. So when you compare it to, you know, any of these other things, they're seriously neglected. So what do you think? Does any of this feel too modded, or do you think it's something that we might actually see in Minecraft 1.20? Let me know your thoughts down below and any additional ideas that you might have. If you're new here, then consider subscribing and maybe drop a like on the video, as it helps out the video on the channel a ton. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you down in the comments and in the next one. And then there was silence.